Dawn McCoy with Flourish Leadership Group, where I ignite your leadership to the next level. I'm so excited to join you for an opportunity discussing networking. And I mean in the sense of networking, how we can expand our group, focus, connections, allies, and make sure that we're doing it effectively. I have a really great opportunity in having been a contributing author in When Women Connect. And in that regard, I provide some highlights and tips and resources in that resource to share with you about how women in particular can in earnest really make that networking opportunity happen. So what I want to do to share with you just briefly are some highlights from one of the 7 ways that I talk about how when networking, you can be effective in what you do by being resourceful. And really just some handy tips to keep in mind. But these are listed actually in the book, and I'll actually put a link down here below. But wanted to include resources to tell you a little bit about what you need to be thinking. And really to leverage, because there are so many ways nowadays to be thoughtful about connecting with people. And it really has to be intentional. One of the most basic and simple ways of connecting with other people is to leverage your acquaintances, your network, your referral, your community. And how can you do that? Well, quite frankly, by reaching out to neighbors and friends, allies, those in your faith-based community, your neighborhoods, your schools, obviously community groups and other venues where you may frequent. We don't think of those as networking, but those networks are networking. And really being able to think through carefully about what it is we're seeking or seeking to share and utilizing these resources carefully. Now, we often don't think of a venue as being somewhere where we go specifically, as in a conference or a meeting, but sometimes just going to the coffee shop is actually a venue where you can find great ways to network with people, connect on a regular basis, and really exchange information and ideas. We don't think about it being able to say, oh my goodness, I'm going to the coffee shop to build my network. No, we don't. We think about going to the coffee shop to make friends, make acquaintances, connect, and really in earnest be able to genuinely be able to say, you know what, I'd really like to make sure to find out more information about X, Y, or Z. Or I'd love to share with you about what I provide or indicate what you are trying to gather. What we have to do in thinking about networking, it is not an idea of just passing on a business card or pushing information out or being really salesy in what we're doing, but being able to have an earnest, meaningful connection with people. And honestly, those who are servant leaders are those who are thinking about how they can provide information, share resources, be someone who is. Think of the person who is always helpful. When you might be lost looking for someplace, you don't know where you are, you're in a community and you say, oh my goodness, you roll down the window at the gas station, you ask for help. That person is being a resource in your community. Or you think about, wow, you know what, you're trying to find that new grocery store that may have the best possible sale, or even the Sunday paper. You go to a resource, necessarily, yes, in a person, an individual, but really you're building your network by doing so, by getting referrals or connections, information that you can add to your Rolodex or your app. We'll talk about some of those tools actually when I share more in the When Women Connect book and worksheets to be able to give you some real hardy information about what you can do to apply all of this information, really make it applicable in what you do as a leader. We often find that we are overwhelmed as leaders because there's so much information coming at us, and we're not actually in a position of overwhelm. We actually have so much information at our fingertips to be able to be resourceful and proactive and to be able to think through carefully. Let me be mindful of the people I'd like to connect with, the areas where I'd like to connect, specifically at the coffee shop or downtown at the community center. Maybe you now understand a little more of now what I'm sharing. And so that's why I wanted to just bring to you this particular segment about how networking and connecting with people is so vital, so critical, to be very proactive about it, but to be mindful about mapping out a strategy, a proactive plan for connecting with people in your community, making sure that you are thinking through how and when, and particularly the subjects. So that's about it. I really wanted to just again bring to you some specific highlights on how you can really build your network. This is again one of 7 principles about how to build your network effectively. I want to invite you to check out what Women Connect, When Women Connect is about, and to get the leadership resources, including the checklist and some of the other information that's available to you. Again, this is Dawn McCoy with Flourish Leadership Group, where I ignite your leadership to the next level. If you'd like to connect with me further, please do so at flourishleadership.com and get information about the latest in all things leadership. Until we meet again, be enlightened, be enriched, be empowered.